So my name is Charles Owen. Thank you guys. Welcome to the House-Hasson virtual user group meeting. Appreciate you guys attending. This this presentation is going to be chock full of all kinds of updates that we've done to Paladin. A lot of cool features in here. I'm going to go rather quickly through it. So good news is we're going to record this for later, so you can log in at any time and watch this. You can slow it down if you want, but it really does give you kind of a overview of all the features that have gone into Paladin in probably the last 3+ months. So a lot of information, about 50 slides here, so I'll be covering each of those slides relatively quickly. I don't want to spend an hour doing this. I don't think you want to do that either, so we're going to just cram through this in about 30 to 40 minutes, I'm hoping. And so as I mentioned, my name is Charles Owen. This demonstration is for the House-Hasson virtual user group meeting. Yes, and sorry I can't be there in person, but we are sending Devin Cram, who's going to be there on site. We will not be doing a user group meeting while on site. That's why we're doing one right here. But Devin will be maintaining and managing the booth at booth number 241. So you do have, and you will have access to Devin in real time on site. So if you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to put them in the questions box on the screen, and I'll answer those at the end of the presentation. So if you could just turn your attention to the window, and I want to make sure, just please anybody answer me if you can hear me and see my screen. According to my audience view, we're looking at the right screen. According to my everything else, it looks like we've got everybody raising hands here. Thank you very much. All right, so jumping into the first slide. So what are we going to learn on this? Well, you're going to learn about all the releases for 2021, including the pick list, auto delete quotes, mobile 2 skip signatures. There's a slew of them. I'm going to go through every one of these, so there's no reason for me to read each of these. I'll be going into more detail and also showing a screenshot from each one of these. Also, newly released. This is sooner than 3 months ago. This is probably more like 3 or 4 weeks ago. We put this information in the system and these features in the system. So you will probably be learning something you don't know today, because there's so much that we crammed into this update. It's all real cool stuff. So let's get right into it. So the new features start out with the Picklist Report. So if you go in and create a quote and then you convert that quote to an order just basically says, I have all these products that are earmarked for a particular customer. I need to fulfill these orders. And they can come in and pick any portion of that up. Buy down quote is another term for it. And once they create an order, if they want to see everything that's outstanding to be fulfilled, they can just go and create a pick list. It creates an Excel document. We can see it right here on the screen. Pick list spreadsheet sorts the items and by order, and includes order details, and includes things like customer, project, item quantity, and price. So it shows you everything that needs to be fulfilled for every client that has an outstanding or an open order. Next one is declutter your quotes by removing older ones. So in Paladin, as you know, today quotes are stored forever until you remove them or until you sell them and choose to delete them. Well, now you can go into File Setup, Invoice Store tab. There is a new setting in there that says delete stored quote after so many days. It defaults to 0, which means they'll be there indefinitely, just like they were yesterday. But you can change this. So if you want to change it, say delete them after 30 days, it'll be great. It'll delete everything. And just remember, you cannot recall deleted quotes. They are gone from the system. So just be sure that you want to delete those quotes. Maybe you might want to put a little cushion on that, maybe 2 months or something like that, just to make sure. The next one is we've added a capability to skip the signature on mobile to checkout. On the app, you'll see now next to accept, it says skip signature. So that is an option that you need to go into File Setup, Credit Card tab, and select Signatures pane and set up signatures requirements. This works with mobile to checkout version 1.15 or later. We're up to 1.2 today, I believe, 1.2.0. And contact Paladin support to activate this feature for you if you need it. Transaction report. We've now added some additional columns here. We have rewards 1 for if you have rich rewards, or other integrations like Volusion in this case and Blue Tarp, where we show any alternate ID for the customer and any particular integration that we have with another vendor. So that shows, in this case, on the top line for this customer, it shows all of the 3 alternate IDs. Customer charge email utility. So if you've ever wanted to send a broadcast to all of your charge account customers, those having a credit limit of greater than 0, you may do that now. You just go to maintain, utilities, customer utilities, and select email charge customer, or yes, email, yes. And what you're going to see here on the other side, once you go ahead and put your message in and send it, it will send an email out to all of your charge customers. And the email is going to automatically fill in who the message is from. It's automatically going to add a little salutation, dear Mary Smith, in this case, the following message is from so-and-so hardware. And then your message will appear below that. Really cool feature, enables you to really reach out and touch all of your charge account customers and give them any important messages that you want to share with them. Moving on, as it also relates to charge customers, if you have some staff that you do not want to enable them to give cash back for returns, you can set it up to where certain employees only have access to returning money onto an account and not necessarily give them money back or write a check to them. So this is an employee permission. If you want to limit the employees who can actually give money back without returning it to a charge only, you can do that now. Collect on delivery. So COD is a feature that's in the delivery piece here, and it enables you to basically postpone charging a customer for the delivery, and it essentially puts it on account temporarily until that money is collected by the truck delivery person, and then you just put that as received on account back into Paladin. It helps in 2 scenarios. 1, if it's a customer that does not have a credit limit, and 2, if it has a customer with a credit limit and it exceeds that credit limit. In both of those scenarios, you have an opportunity to do collect on delivery. So if you have a 0 credit limit for your customer, and you select delivery, schedule delivery, it automatically gives you the charge option. It just lights up. And this is a non-charge customer, right? They have 0 credit limit. You can still put it on charge. That enables you to postpone the taking of money for this until you actually do the delivery. On the receipt, it says right up at the top under 2 bold or under and above 2 bold lines, it says collect this amount of money on delivery. It also states it at the bottom as well. All right, now this is what it looks like when you take the payment. So let's say the truck comes back, they got a couple of checks, they got some cash. You just go in and you apply an account payment on that particular customer. Done. Next, when you have a customer that exceeds their store credit, it gives you an option. 1, you can exceed their store limit and charge or credit limit if you have manager approval. If not, you can just select collect this amount on delivery and it'll turn it into a COD, which is pretty convenient. So they're going to see the same thing on the receipt when the truck delivers the receipt, whether it's a 3-inch or an 8.5 by 11. It'll just say right at the top, collect this amount of money on delivery, and they will have to pay that in order to receive this. How do you turn it on? So just go into File, Setup, Delivery tab and click on Enable COD Deliveries. Email purchase orders to any address. So now there's a pop-up box that happens when you're sending the purchase order, and it enables you to put in a different email that might be already set up in the system. An additional one if you want. You can use the existing one or add more to it. That is a feature that we've added to enable you to send the PO that you're ordering from your supplier to any email that you wish. On multi-store, we've now given you multi-store customers the ability to set up a unique QR code for each store. Just go to File, Setup, Forms tab, and for each of the stores, and just go ahead and put in your image for that QR code. Done. Next, moving on to advanced lookup searches, we've included the searching through the ACH or automated clearinghouse data for stored checks, and that information is now part of the search ability when you type in advanced search customers all. It'll go and rummage through those fields looking for that information and return the results accordingly. Now here's a feature for you that are using Rich Rewards, the embedded system from Paladin that does the loyalty programs. It used to be where we've included those with inventory assets and cost of goods sold. We've now broken those out into separate areas. So if you go in, you'll notice now when you go in to set up your accounts, you will have two different accounts for for the Rich Rewards. One is asset accounts, the other is under expense accounts. And when you actually look at the GL summary, you're going to see at the very bottom, coupons issued, expense, coupons issued, asset. So we've now broken this out for you. No longer do you have to look at the report for the end of day report or the revenue report to find this information out. It's right there on the GL summary, and you can have this added directly through your QuickBooks integration or other finance general ledger package. All right, let's look at some of the newly released features that you just got now in the last few weeks. One is tax holiday. So there's a lot of states now that are participating in tax holidays, meaning there's certain days and time of the year where the government is freeing your consumers of the liability of taxes up to a certain amount. In some cases, the example that we use here on this item that's scanned, they put in this case $250, meaning out of the $400 that they scanned in for this particular bicycle, $250 is tax-free. And that's all they have to do is right-click or Control-T, brings up the calculator, just type in the amount that's of tax-free on this particular item, and it does everything for you. All the what happens in the actual invoice, you can see here it shows line number 1 and line number 2 of the taxes coming out or the credit being added, and then the tax amount added or the non-tax amount added back in. In this case, turning it from just down to charging them only for the balance of the $400 bicycle, less the $250 that are non-taxable. All right, the next one is insufficient stock on hand. So this is basically an oversold alert. Now this, I caution everybody on this particular feature. If you're in a cash and carry hardware store or a pharmacy, and you basically know what's in stock and what isn't in stock because it finds its way up to the counter. Well, you don't want to be warned and say, hey, you have -2 when you're actually scanning the item and selling it at checkout. So we do allow you to segregate out which products this warning comes with and which products this warning does not display. And I'll show you how to do that. So you just basically go in when you activate this under File, Setup, Invoice, Store tab. You'll see Enable Oversold Warning. Now, if you turn that on without setting up a yard order inventory location range to filter it out for just that location, it will obnoxiously show you every single inventory item that you have less in stock than what the quantity is that you're scanning. So again, just a word of caution. Now, if you are a place that has building materials, or you have a warehouse where you send people over to get their items fulfilled, it's really important to set this up. But you want to make sure that that location range is set up in Paladin. So more than likely, you'd be using the same location range that you use for yard orders today. Moving on, Benjamin Moore program reports. So there's been a request from several customers that sell Benjamin Moore paints that they want to be able to get certain reports and get credit for those sales through the Benjamin Moore program. as well as give credit to their particular salesperson. So in this case, you can go in and set this up. It's under the maintain utilities, and you'll see it under customer utilities, and there'll be a setup there where it will be Benjamin Moore setup. You'll just click on that, and you can run this report. Now, that's for running the report. To set it up, you need to go into the customer tab, and in the customer tab, you go to electronic, and you select the actual representative, the Benjamin Moore representative, and you set them up as a customer type. That is the way that you enable this feature. So if you have any questions, just contact Paladin support if you need help with this particular, setting up this particular feature. All right, now also new item tags and bin tags. We have a new item tag that is called a barbell shaped tag. It's for things like jewelry, very small items. In this case, it shows the part number and the alternate part number. And it is called item tag 18. It's 2 1/4 by 3/4, and it works just on the desktop, dedicated desktop label printer. And then we have another bin tag 41, a little bit different style. It comes on the desktop as well, and it's a standard size 2 inch by 1 inch, and that one is just a little different layout. You know, I think we have close to 40 now that you can choose from, and definitely go to the LTSR catalog, which you can see in portal.paladinpos.com. Just search for LTSR, stands for labels, tags, sales, and reports. Label, tags, sales, signs, sorry. Label, tags, signs, and reports. All right, moving on. Incremental part numbers for added inventory. So there's some folks that want us to create an alternate part number for them automatically. So we can do this now. You can do it in 2 areas. One, when you add an inventory item, just click on next X number, and that's right there next to alternate part number, and that will use the next available number in that sequence. Always starts with X00001 and moves up from there. In addition, if you're doing an import, let me go back here. If you're doing an import from the data viewer into inventory, believe it or not, there's a checkbox there that says, hey, on all these thousands of items that I'm importing, go ahead and add my X number to that, and it will automatically do that for you. So moving on, export your sales into Excel. So we've now given you the capability to export your sales that you have in the system into an Excel document. The neat thing about this is you can make price changes and turn around and add those right directly, import them right directly back into another sale list. So you can leverage the information that you've put together by just pushing it out to Excel, making changes, turn around and importing it right back in. And that's under File Setup, Sale List. And make sure to click the Edit tab before you will be able to do export or import. You must hit that Edit tab. You'll notice that they're grayed out until you do that. Moving on, description 3 is now included in the advanced lookup. All right, so what is description 3? It's a third description. Now this description is typically used for integrations with e-commerce sites, for long descriptions, titles, things in that nature. It's about 250 characters, and it really does have some good information that you can put in there, particularly if you have integration with Illusion. And also we have recently put out our new e-commerce API, or application programming interface. So this would be a good field for that as well. But now we are searching that field when we're searching for items. And that would be when you're searching for keywords. All right, last but not least, we have accounting integration updates. So we integrate with not only QuickBooks Online, but QuickBooks Enterprise, as well as Sage 50 Cloud, Microsoft Dynamics GP. And each of these kind of work the same way, right? Where it pushes up the end of day information every night, and just you specify what account numbers get pushed to where, and that's done on the in the setup area of Paladin. And once it's done, it'll just happen nightly. In addition to that, every time you close a purchase order, it's going to create a billable event on the GL side. So it'll become a payment that needs to be paid in your finance system, and it will actually be itemized as well. Moving on, Capital One trade credit rebranding. So this used to be Blue Tarp. Those of you who have chosen to use Blue Tarp for your accounts receivables, fantastic service. It's a great business to look into. They buy your receivables and manage 100% of your receivables. So it's all real time, where you get the credit just like it's a credit, or just like it's an account customer, but the money comes from, in this case, Capital One trade credit. So just a little rebranding there. So to learn more, these are live links that you can go to, or if you just go to portal.paladinpos.com, or under the help menu, click on help knowledge base, you can type in Paladin 2001, or I'm sorry, Paladin 2021-A, B, or C, respectively, and you'll see all the information that we have here. And there's, in a lot of cases, there's detail and graphics as well to help you through what these releases do. There's also live links on the bottom here if you want to copy and paste those in. All right, so next webinar. So a little plug for August 24th. We're going to be what's new in Paladin. You know, fortunately, most of the information that's going to be in that presentation you've already seen, so you got a heads up on that. If you want to attend, I would still encourage you to do so. You know, there might be additional things that we throw in there just as extra bonuses to make it a little bit different. But for the most part, you've seen it today. So, hey, cool. That's on August 24th. And I don't think I'll have a stand-in for that one. We're going to have Andrew Martinelli, who is going to be doing that webinar. And he's awesome. You'll love it. All right, to finalize here, I'm not seeing any questions, so I'll just go ahead and close out here. So as always, we really appreciate the time that you've spent with us today. Your time is valuable. You've got customers and other demands on your time, so we appreciate it. We know just by virtue of the fact that you're here, that you're interested in bettering your store, driving your revenue, increasing your knowledge of Paladin so you can use the system to get more of a return on investment. You know, nowadays it's particularly challenging where you can't find help. You can't get people to work in your store because, hey, they can get paid as much or more through the government directly. So until that changes, it's going to be really challenging. So really appreciate that you've come here today and are yearning to learn more about Paladin. There are other links that you can go to stay relevant. One is go to Retail Science. You can just go to paladinpointsale.com/retail science, or in the Paladin point of sale screen on the in the actual website, on the top right hand side, right, it says websites. If you click that or click on that, it'll enable you to go right to Retail Science, go to the store as well, and our help portal. So those are the 3 areas that you can go to. Thank you everybody for attending. God bless you. Have a great day. And until next time, take care.